forgetting God, forgetting He's the head. We're getting so angry about this when it's not a black issue. It's a sin issue. It's a sin issue. And I remember scrolling on Facebook that morning, and I came across Smokey Norfolk. And if you don't know who that is, he's a black gospel artist. To me, one of the realest ones we have left. And he's also a pastor. And he had posted on social media that same morning how he was going through the same emotions during this thing of being angry, and that the Lord had to, break this down to him, that it's not a black issue, it's a sin issue, and that we cannot put that above Christ. We cannot get so wrapped up into that we out here fighting for, things that are the minor issue. We got to attack what's really behind this, and that's Satan and what he's doing. This is a sin. It's a sin issue. So we have to point people to Christ, not point people to, oh, this is black and white. We should be angry with the white man. No, we have to point them to the enemy behind this, causing all this division, because at the end of the day, it's all going to lead people to hell. So now, if you didn't miss what I said, the Lord told me James Brown did not make it to heaven. And, during that time, you don't have to believe me, but I don't see anywhere where James Brown ever professed to be a Christian in his latter days. So now I just want to go back to the day James Brown died. I just want to bring this to you. I was at home. I believe this was the same year my mom passed, I believe. Because I remember because we were still at that house, and I was at home, and it was Christmas Day, and I was sleeping. And I started dreaming about James Brown. I dreamed that he was on a stage. It's a nice size stage. And that he was dancing like he dances, but he just seemed to be in so much pain. And there was all these empty chairs, nobody in the audience, but he was on the stage just dancing. Then he ended up dancing into the crowd and dancing in between the seats, and just dancing like he couldn't stop, almost like he was being forced to dance. And he was in agony. And I was dreaming this as I was, and then I woke up from the dream. It was just like the weirdest feeling over me. But then I realized on the TV, I had the news on that James Brown's death was being announced. I must have been on one of those news channels, 24-hour news channels, and his death was being announced. So at that time, I believe it was in my subconscious as I was sleeping, and that's why I ended up dreaming about it. But when God told me that, I said to myself, I believe this was God showing me this man now is in agony as he's died. And now everything he's done is in vain. His song, from what I've seen, it lifted up the black community at that time, because there was still a lot of, segregation and oppression at that time. I could be wrong. I think that was like in the late 60s, and the whites only, blacks only at that time. I know a lot of those things were stopping, but there was still a lot of, oppression, and black people just downtrodden. And I've watched documentaries. The song brought hope to black people. It gave them something to be proud of. But, people should be pointed to Christ, not blackness. And the Lord is saying that even, with all that, we fighting for this, these black rights and this and that. Not that it was in no ways wrong to fight for those things, but we got to remember to put God first. We can't idolize the fact that we're black. God made everybody. It seems like I really sometimes don't get how people, or you go to a black church, or you go to a white church or a Spanish church. I don't like the white church or the black church or the Spanish. It's because you don't people don't have the revelation. You got to remember, God made everybody. He made the white man. He made the Spanish man. He made the Chinese man. And we were all made for his glory and his purpose of worshiping and honoring him. So it is not about the race. That's not what this thing is about. That's not what life is about. That was Satan who caused all this divisiveness to get people in a place of anger and resentment and unforgiveness, because he knows it can be hard for those things to be broken. And it's ultimately to send people to hell, because unforgiveness, resentment, all those things don't enter heaven. Sin can't enter heaven. It's all a play on you. It's all a play on you. So please be careful, saints, not to put your skin color above anything. Please be careful. When you vote, I really like to push this. When you vote, look at the policies. Look at the policies that the person is pushing. Are there policies against the Bible? Are they acting like they're for black people, but they're pushing abortion, they're pushing LGBT, all this craziness? You got to look at those things. God's holding you accountable to those things. Just look at the policies. And I'm telling you that for your own good, because I'm looking at the policies and what they're pushing. You know? I don't believe, coming up in this current campaign, I don't believe there's a believer. I don't believe Trump is a true believer. But I just know his policies line up with the Bible. So, there you go. So please just be careful not to idolize your skin color. Be careful not to fall into that trap. Because, he's a jealous God. And don't you forget it. So, I hope this made sense. And I hope it touched somebody. So, God bless.